Some people hustle pool. Some people hustle cars. Then there's that man you've heard about, the one who hustles stars. Jack Horkheimer, star hustler, director of Miami's Space Transit Planetarium. Our episode for this week, Monday, August 11th through Sunday, August 17th, is Lovely Luna and the King. And now here to tell you about tonight's sky and the biggest show of all, the universe, your star hustler, Jack Horkheimer.
Greetings, fellow stargazers, and I hope that some of you got out to see the Perseid meteor shower last week. But for those of you who were stuck in the city and didn't see it, well, next week we've got 3 nights where you can see 2 beautiful sky objects from within the heart of even the most brilliantly lit cities. That is, of course, unless it's clouded over. Yes, indeed, folks, appearing together in a beautiful celestial act right over your city for 3 nights next week, that famous celestial duo, Lovely Luna and the King. Lovely Luna, of course, being the French name for the moon, as in Clair de Lune. And the king of the planet, Jupiter. Now mark the following nights on your calendar. Tuesday evening the 19th, Wednesday evening the 20th, and Thursday evening the 21st. Because on these 3 nights, if you look east-southeast after both sunset and evening twilight have ended, these 2 objects will be hanging in the heavens, just begging to be seen. And you don't need anything but your good old naked eye to soak in the beauty. If you look very carefully, you'll see that the moon is full on Tuesday evening, the 19th. Then by the next night, Wednesday the 20th, you'll notice that the moon will appear closer to Jupiter, and that it will be just a tiny little bit less than completely full. And if you look even more carefully after sunset on Thursday evening, the 21st, you will notice that an even bigger sliver of a full moon seems to have been sliced off. Now, if you do happen to have a pair of binoculars, you'll notice that the shadows on the moon will change from night to night. And as for Jupiter, well, if you hold the binoculars very, very steady, without jiggling them whatsoever, you may see 1, 2, 3, or 4 little pinpricks of light alongside of Jupiter, which are 4 of its largest moons, 3 of which are bigger than our own moon. Yes, indeed. Few people realize that some of the moons of Jupiter are visible with just binoculars. And there have been some people who have reported that they've been able to see some of the moons of Jupiter with just their naked eye. But that takes perfectly clear sky conditions and eyesight of the rarest, keenest kind. Eyesight that's simply out of this world, so to speak. Now, if you do happen to be one of those who did buy a telescope for Halley's Comet, well, Jupiter in your telescope will knock your socks off. Boy, what a treat. Having 2 of the most beautiful naked eye and telescopic celestial objects in the heavens close together 3 nights in a row. And you don't have to leave the city to see them. Remember now, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings, the 19th, 20th, and 21st, at the end of evening twilight, look east-southeast, and there, the loveliest lady of the cosmos will greet and even outdazzle the king of all the planets. Oh, what wonderful sights the skies of Earth offer us mere mortals, and how wonderful it can sometimes be to keep looking up.
Some people hustle pool. Some people hustle cars. Then there's that man you've heard about, the one who hustles stars. Jack Horkheimer, star hustler, director of Miami's Space Transit Planetarium. Our episode for this week is The Lion and the Lady and Follow the Yellow Sun Road. And now, here to tell you all about tonight's sky and the biggest show of all, the universe, your star hustler, Jack Horkheimer.
Greetings, fellow stargazers. This week, we're going to show you how to do a little astronomy right in your own car. But first, how many of you remember that old short story about the lady and the tiger? You know, the one where the fella in the arena is given his choice of 2 doors, remember? Behind one door is a beautiful woman who will lead him to freedom, and behind the other is a tiger ready to tear him to bits. Well, as you may recall, the writer simply left everyone hanging there forever, wondering which door the guy chose. Exasperating, wasn't it? Well, this week, we're going to give you not only the lady, but the big pussycat, too. And we won't leave you wondering, because this week we'll show you a heavenly lady who's going to be playing Here, Kitty, Kitty all week long with the greatest feline of the heavens, Leo the lion. I'm talking, of course, about Venus and the brightest star in the constellation, Leo the lion. The blue-white star Regulus, which is the 20th brightest star in the heavens. Now, all last week, if you went out about an hour or so before sunrise and looked east, you would have seen Venus above and quite a distance away from good old Regulus. But if you go out every clear morning this week, you'll notice that Venus moves closer and closer to Regulus every day, so that by Friday the 20th, Venus is just a couple of steps away from the lion. And if you're up on Saturday morning, the 21st, well, you will see our beautiful lady within petting distance of the king of the beasts. For on Saturday morning, the 21st, Venus will be just 1/5 of a full moon away from Regulus. Now, you'll notice that Venus is above Regulus on Saturday morning. But by Sunday morning, they will have changed places, and Venus will be below the blue star. And if you keep watching all next week, you'll notice that Venus will play shoo shoo scat kitty, so that by Thursday the 26th, Regulus will have crawled on, far out of reach of the goddess of beauty. Now, if you happen to be up at sunrise on Sunday the 22nd, you will notice something strange, because on that morning, the sun will rise exactly due east over the horizon. And this happens only 2 days a year. As a matter of fact, you may also notice that on Sunday night, September 22nd, the sun will set exactly due west. And this also only happens on 2 days of the year. Indeed, you can participate in a little sunrise-sunset demonstration on the 22nd. If you're driving in your car just as the sun comes up, and if you are on a highway that faces due east, you will notice that the sun will appear to rise directly over the center line of any due east highway. Now, for those of you who are driving at sunset on a highway going due west, well, you will notice that the sun will set directly over the center line on Sunday evening. And this, too, happens only 2 days of the year. So, what's so special about Sunday? Well, it just happens to be the day of the autumnal equinox, the first day of fall. And what other day of the year does this phenomenon happen? That's for you to figure out. So, out under the heavens with you to find the lady and the lion. And to all you east-west drivers, remember to pull down your sun visors as you keep looking up.
There are only 12 more weeks until someone is the first person on Earth to see the return of
the Miami Space Transit Planetarium. Our episode for this week, Monday, April 27th, through Sunday, May 3rd, is a spectacular meeting of the King and Queen of the Cosmos. And now here to tell you all about tonight's sky and the biggest show of all, the universe, your star hustler, Jack Horkheimer.
Greetings, greetings, fellow stargazers, and boy, oh boy, have we ever got something for you this weekend and Monday morning. And believe me, you don't want to miss this, because every morning this week, Venus and Jupiter will come closer and closer to each other, ending in a spectacular conjunction. That's a heavenly meeting, 1/2 hour before sunrise, Monday morning, May 4th. And you can get started watching now if you care to. Indeed, if you go outside, about 1/2 hour before sunrise each morning and look due east, you'll see one extremely bright light, which is the planet Venus. And close by to the left, though not nearly as bright, the king of the planets, Jupiter. Now, if you have a telescope or a pair of binoculars, you'll see an absolutely breathtaking view through them, even though watching this event with a good old naked eye is perfectly adequate to see this lovely spectacle. And while you're out there looking at these two, think of this. Jupiter and Venus are the two brightest cosmic lights in the heavens which we can see after the sun and our moon. In other words, if we could list all the brightest objects in the heavens visible from our planet Earth, the list would begin like this. Number 1, the brightest, our sun. Number 2, the next brightest, the moon. Number 3, Venus. Number 4, Jupiter. Now, to make our sky show just a little more enjoyable, let's just briefly remind ourselves how big Venus and Jupiter really are. Venus, for instance, has often been called the twin sister planet of our Earth. Not because Venus is anything like our Earth as far as living on it is concerned, but simply because Venus is almost exactly the same size as our planet. Our Earth being 7,927 miles in diameter. Venus being 7,600 miles wide. Jupiter, however, the king of the heavens and Venus' partner this week, puts both the queen of the cosmos and good old Earth to shame, being 88,700 miles wide through the middle. So, without knowing anything at all about astronomy, except the size of Venus and Jupiter, we should be able to deduce at merely a glance that Jupiter is much farther away than Venus, if it indeed is still so incredibly bright. But how much farther away at this particular point in time? Well, Venus, the second planet out from the sun, is 129 million miles away from Earth at the present moment, while Jupiter is incredibly farther away, lying at a distance of 543 million miles beyond our home planet. So, Jupiter and Venus gazers, prepare yourselves for a super close visual meeting of these two wonderful planets Monday morning, May 4th, about 30 minutes before sunrise, and all you have to do to see it is just go outside and look due east, and there you'll see Venus just a hair more than a full moon's width away from Jupiter. And remember that you can start your Venus-Jupiter watch any clear morning this week at the same time. That is about half an hour before sunrise. And you have my word on it that getting up this early, even before the early bird catches the worm, is well worth the effort, even though you may be half asleep as you keep looking up.
Star Hustler is brought to you by the Carl Zeiss Companies of North America. We're setting the standards with products for medicine, research, industry, and the quality-conscious consumer.
Some people hustle pool. Some people hustle cars. Then there's that man you've heard about, the one who hustles stars, Jack Horkheimer, Star Hustler, director of the Miami Space Transit Planetarium. Our episode for this week, Monday, May 4th, through Sunday, May 10th, is Midnight Moon Magic. And now here to tell you all about tonight's sky and the biggest show of all, the universe, your Star Hustler, Jack Horkheimer.
Greetings, greetings, fellow stargazers, and this week we're going to give you a preview of one of the brightest stars of summer, and we'll also give you a wonderful demonstration of the incredible distance that our moon travels across the sky in just 24 hours' time. So mark Thursday and Friday nights, May 14th and 15th, on your calendar as the nights for sky watching. And although the best time to observe will be around midnight, your local time, any place across the USA and Canada, you can cheat on the time a little bit and do your moon and summer star observing earlier. But for illustration's sake, let's use midnight as a reference point when we look through our sky window. Now, simply go outside around midnight local time on Thursday, May 14th, and look due south. Now, just a little bit to the east, that is to the left of due south, you will notice the wonderful, bright, full moon of May, which is called both the planting moon and the milk moon. And if you look just to the left of the moon, you'll see a red star. Now, it won't be as bright as it is when there's no moon here, because the bright moonlight will, of course, wipe out the contrast between the star and the sky, and thus makes this usually bright star appear to be not as bright as usual. It is a star we'll be watching all summer long, and it's one of my favorites. It's the heart of the fearful summer scorpion, the giant red star named, you know it, Antares. Now, both Antares and the moon will be rather low in the sky, and that's why we've chosen midnight for most of you to observe. Because if you observe much earlier, say around 9 o'clock, Antares will still be below the eastern horizon. Indeed, if you go outside just after sunset, even the moon itself will not be visible, for the moon won't rise in the east until just after it finishes getting dark May 14th. So, if you want to spend a couple of hours outside, it might be fun to go outside just after dark and watch the moon come up, and then see how long it takes before you can spot the red star Antares following it. Let's show you. We've set up our sky so that it's just after sunset May 14th. No moon, no Antares. Now, just after it gets dark, the moon will begin to rise. And about an hour or so later, it will be followed by Antares. Okay? Now, let's speed up to midnight again, where once again on Thursday, May 14th, remember, the moon is up to the right of Antares. However, if you go outside 24 hours later at midnight, on Friday the 15th, the moon will be almost the same distance away from Antares, but instead of being to the right of it, it will be to the left. For indeed, compared to the distant faraway stars, our nearest neighbor in space, the moon, really moves quickly across the night sky. So, out under the heavens with you to enjoy the beauty of the night, and as the planting moon and milk moon rise above the eastern horizon, followed by a ruby red jewel of the heavens, may you be reminded how much fun it is to keep looking up.
Star Hustler is brought to you by the Carl Zeiss Companies of North America. We're setting the standards with products for medicine, research, industry, and the quality-conscious consumer.
Some people hustle pool. Some people hustle cars. Then there's that man you've heard about, the one who hustles stars, Jack Horkheimer, Star Hustler, director of the Miami Space Transit Planetarium. Our episode for this week, Monday, May 11th through Sunday, May 17th, is The Month of the Glowing Horizon. And now here to tell you all about tonight's sky and the biggest show of all, the universe, your Star Hustler, Jack Horkheimer.
Greetings, greetings, fellow stargazers, and welcome to the month of the glowing horizon. Yes, indeed, this is that time of the year when if you go outside just after it gets dark, you'll be able to see, if you're far away from city lights, a beautiful glowing band of light completely surrounding you on all sides, north, south, east, and west, all along the horizon. This sky glow should really be called star glow, because this wonderful, almost mystical band of encircling light is actually the combined light of millions and millions of stars so far away that all their light fuzzes together in a soft blur. Yes, this incandescent ribbon is the light coming from the plane of our galaxy. It is the light of the Milky Way. Let me show you We know, of course, in our century that our sun is a star, just one of billions of stars that travel together in space in a huge family. And we call such a star family a galaxy. Now, if we could go way, way out into space on the wings of a god and look back at our family of stars, we would see that our family looks like a gigantic spiral pinwheel, with the light of these billions of stars all fuzzing together in a blur. Our sun is about 2/3 of the way out from the center of our galaxy. And since it is embedded in one of our galaxy's spiral arms, we should be able to see a dense concentration of stars or starlight when we look directly along the plane of our galaxy. And indeed, we can see the light from millions of these stars on clear moonless nights far away from any artificial light, if we know exactly where to look. It's extremely easy to see in early evening in late September and early October, because then it stretches clear from the northeastern horizon all the way up to the top of the sky and back down again to the south-southwest horizon. Now, when our ancestors looked at this marvelous ribbon of glowing light across the heavens, they tried to figure out exactly what it was. The early Egyptians said that it was a cosmic river Nile that nourished the cosmos with its celestial waters. The Greeks and Romans said that it was the life-giving milk of a goddess, milk left over from the beginning of our universe. But my favorite explanation is that of the American Indians, who said that this was the road to the afterlife, the path to the happy hunting ground. I've always considered myself lucky because I was raised far away from city lights in a rural area in a time when there was little air pollution. And as a Boy Scout, I used to love camping out at night and seeing the Milky Way glowing like a great river of light stretched clear across heaven. Today, it's impossible to see the Milky Way from many areas of our continent because of city lights and polluted air. But if you happen to go out on a lake or the ocean or high up in the mountains or deep in the desert, you will be able to see it. And I guarantee that when you do, you will feel the magic of this awesome, eerie glow that has stirred the hearts of millions of people who have walked this planet called Earth. And even though many of you won't be able to see it with your own eyes, if you try real hard, you will see it in your mind's eye. And it is truly wonderful just to know that it's there. So, out under the heavens with you, and may you remember to always keep looking up.
Star Hustler is brought to you by the Carl Zeiss Companies of North America. We're setting the standards with products for medicine, research, industry, and the quality-conscious consumer.
Some people hustle pool. Some people hustle cars. Then there's that man you've heard about, the one who hustles stars. Jack Horkheimer, Star Hustler, director of the Miami Space Transit Planetarium. Our episode for this week, Monday, June 1st through Sunday, June 7th, is The Great Mars Mercury Maybe. And now here to tell you all about tonight's sky and the biggest show of all, the universe, your Star Hustler, Jack Horkheimer.
Greetings, greetings, fellow stargazers, and this week we've got something wonderful for you to see, but which will present a great challenge to find in early evening twilight. Now, some of you may recall that whenever two planets come real close to each other and seem to meet and then pass each other, we call such a meeting and a passing a conjunction. Well, right now, two of the smallest planets of them all are preparing to meet almost head-on just after sunset, Wednesday evening, June 10th. So, now is your chance to spot the most elusive, naked-eye planet of them all, the one that always stays close to the sun and the horizon, the first planet out from the sun, Dinky Mercury. And when I say dinky, I mean dinky. For Mercury is only 3,000 miles wide. Yes, indeed, on June 10th, in early evening, just before it gets completely dark, you will be able to see Mercury snuggle up close to a planet that's only 1,000 miles larger. Our good old friend, 4,000 mile wide, Mars. Now pay close attention to our directions and how to find these two planets, because this will be absolutely your best opportunity to see Mercury all summer long, because you'll be able to use Mars as a finder. And very few people have ever seen Mercury. In fact, I can guarantee that if you find Mars next week, particularly on the closest meeting night, June 10th, but also any night from June 8th through the 12th, yes, I can assure you that if you can find Mars, Mercury will be almost right along beside it. So here's what you have to do to find them. Make absolutely sure that you've got clear skies and start your Mars and Mercury search just after the sun has dipped below the horizon. And keep looking all through twilight. In fact, they will be very low and extremely close to the horizon. So you'll have to have an almost flat, clear view of the horizon, west, northwest. Now, on Monday night, June 8th, Mars and Mercury will look like this in evening twilight. And the next night, Tuesday the 9th, a little closer still. And then, ta-da, the night of the great meeting, Wednesday, June 10th, Mercury and Mars will be at their closest and will be only 0.6 of 1 degree away from each other. That's just a sliver farther apart than the width of just one full moon. Now, our star friends Robert Victor, Jenny Pond, and Robert Miller at the Abrams Planetarium in Michigan called this a quasi-conjunction, because in a true conjunction, Mercury and Mars would pass each other. But aha, this does not happen this upcoming week. Instead, Mercury and Mars greet each other on the 10th, and then, would you believe, the next night and for several nights later, back away from each other. I guess even planets like to retreat once in a while. So, don't miss this great Mars-Mercury maybe, because maybe you'll find them, and maybe you won't. It will all depend on clear skies all the way down to a clear, flat horizon. And until next time, whatever you do, keep looking up. Daystar Day is coming up in a couple of weeks, and we'll tell you all about how to win a free pair of fabulous nighttime binoculars.
Star Hustler is brought to you by the Carl Zeiss Companies of North America. We're setting the standards with products for medicine, research, industry, and the quality-conscious consumer.